Sup, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Check this out, man. Let me get philosophical for a minute, metaphorical for a minute. Life is like a race, and all of us are running this race called life. You have people who come out the block real fast and jump out to a big lead. Then you have people who come out the block kind of slow and they get behind early on in the race, and it's looking like they probably gonna lose. But sometimes those people who come out the block slow, at some point in the race, they start to pick up the pace and accelerate a little bit and start to slowly get up to speed and eventually take the lead, or they right in the mix. The point I'm making is this. You have people who may not have been the best people in the world at certain parts in their life. Then time passes and they undergo a transformation for whatever reason. Could be spiritual, could be a situation that scares them straight, could be just growth and understanding. But whatever the case is, sometimes people change. The question is, are those of us who have been negatively affected by those individuals before they changed, are we willing to accept their positive change when it comes? Do we believe it? And that's the biggest issue. Sometimes people will do something to you or hurt you in such a way that it could have happened when y'all was young, when y'all was in elementary school. He might have bullied you. He might have made fun of you, whatever the case is, and you see him or her 25 years later, y'all grown, and those same feelings drum up in your system because you never forgot how it affected you. So you are real, still angry, still bitter about it. And the person who did it sometimes is a different person. I'm not talking about if they steal a butthole. I'm saying if they are a different person and you see them and they're like, hey man, how you doing? How you been, man? And you like, what's up, man? They don't even remember in a lot of cases what it is that what they did. They may remember the type of person they was, but they may have done it to so many people and acted that way with so many that they may not remember you in particular. But they've actually changed. You got drug addicts who have done some of the worst things, but then they kick the habit, and it's hard for them because people who knew them during their time of addiction, like, hey man, hey, here come old boy. Hide your jewelry. Keep your hand on your wallet. Don't turn your back. And they're not that person no more. A man may have done something to a woman. A woman may have done something to a man. And the person that was hurt felt that pain so much, and 15 years later, you see that guy, you see that female, and it's like, you still have that feeling, but you see them and they may be married, children, happy, and it's like, you're confused. So when do we reach the point as the one who may have been victimized by the bully or victimized by the abuser, the drug addict? When do we reach the point that if we recognize the change, that we acknowledge it and we move on? I remember this episode of Fresh Prince from Bel-Air. Yep, I was watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like all y'all watch it. And he went back to his neighborhood, the neighborhood where he grew up at, looking for the bully who intimidated him and ran him to Bel Air in the first place. In this particular episode, he found the guy, he ran into the guy and was ready to fight the guy and confront him. And the dude was like, I don't even remember you. And the guy was like a mentor to young men, and he was a totally different person. And Fresh Prince couldn't fathom that because what happens is when we knew a person from a time frame in our life, even when we move on in our life, we don't see that person no more. Any remembrance of them naturally is locked in that moment. That's who you know him as. And if that person's name comes up in any form, your recollections are going to be, whether they are mental or whether they are verbal, oh man, that dude, nah man, you know, he's a terrible guy. Or she's a terrible female. Because we're locked in that moment, then somebody else comes and say, nah man, he's an ordained minister now. Oh, well, I know if he a minister, he hustling, he's stealing the money. No man, he good now. You just can't fathom that this person changed. But if you find out that they did, or even if you know, because you're not going to start hanging out with the person to find out if they definitely have. But if enough people, if you get that information from enough sources, you got to read something into it. And it's up to us to say, you know what, that was a long time ago, and people can change. The narrative these days is, man, you are who you are, whatever you was, but people can change. And bad people can become good people, and it really be consistent, just like good people can become bad people. Because we've been on that side of the coin too. You start off with somebody and they just the best thing in the world, then as time progresses, they turn into a monster. So if we recognize change in people, let's acknowledge the change, let's accept the change for ourselves, and give people who truly deserve it, because it's a lot of snakes out there that present themselves like that. But when you see that people truly deserve it, give them that opportunity. Because to not believe that a person can change, in my opinion, is to not believe in God's ability to act on the hearts and mind of those people. He can change, he can fix whoever he want to fix. So it's your big brother K-Rino. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this one. Anything else y'all want me to talk about? Drop it down in the comments, man. And if I see it, I'll get to it. Peace.